Alright, so the first exercise we're going to be performing on is a calf raise. And this was a little dangerous set you'll see at the end where I couldn't get it up. So make sure if you're going heavy and hard on these sets, make sure you have somebody there with you to kind of help you in case of these dire needs. Or just make sure you know your limit. But train to failure, but be safe. Now we're going to be doing a set on leg extension to really get the quads going. Also, max stack this finally with a single leg, which is pretty dope. But make sure you're doing 5 reps, 5 reps, 5 reps, 5 reps. Really just banging out those quads. Before this, you guys didn't see it because we forgot to record it. Just a set of Bulgarian split squats for another set. So we just did 2 sets of really just quad dominant stuff today. But just really get a good squeeze to the top. Go to failure. And then when you can't do really any more single leg, go to kind of boosting it up there with both your legs and then going down with one leg and then going and then spamming it with both your legs to get the most out of the movement. Now we're going to be working on the hamstrings, which is really just going to make those legs look 10 times better from the side. Really just emphasizing squeezing at the top, getting a deep stretch at the bottom by controlling the way up and on the way down, but exploding on the way up to get the most squeeze out of it. Now, fellas, if you're a guy who has small legs, this might be one of the biggest problems is you're not focusing on your adductors, which will really just make your legs look wide from the front and everything and from the back. But just make sure you're squeezing and going heavy on this movement. I did it for just a couple sets here today. And like I said, just really squeeze and get a deep stretch at the top. Alright, so we are here with the wifey, and we just did a good leg day that she did very good today. Very proud of her. She pushed herself, especially on this set of leg extensions where I held it down on her. It's very fun, but
yeah, I guess.
she didn't have that much fun, but I pushed her, and she pushed herself, so. But like I've said in the past, that's what it's all about in here. You don't need to do 50,000 sets, right? It's not a marathon, it's kind of a sprint. But at the same time, it's not a sprint either, essentially. Because, I mean, the whole goal in here isn't to be a guy who can do 80 sets of 15-pound curls for 20, 50 reps or whatever. No, it's getting about 1 to 2 sets to failure on each muscle group, maybe 3 or 4, and then really pushing yourself on those sets, right? Because I can come in with the same mentality, but I'm not going to grow as much if I just do 50 reps per set. Now, if your goal is aligned to where you need to do 50 reps per set, which I don't exactly know what you would be doing, because if you were worrying about, like, burning calories, right? Well, for one, yeah, weights are going to burn calories, but they're not essentially going to be burning it. This is what's going to be burning calories. Doing the bike, doing the treadmill, doing kickboxing, doing basketball. Those type of things, right? So if your goal in the gym is right now do 20 plus rep sets, well, for one, ask yourself why. Is it to 1, gain muscle, 2, lose weight, or 3, like a sport, 4, those type of things, right? And if it's a sport that you need to do high reps, maybe like like you're doing explosiveness training for basketball or football or something, sure. But in reality, I think, honestly, anybody can get better results by doing low sets, high-intensity training. It's kind of the Mike Mincer way of training, because he was always preaching, back when nobody knew about it, really, why do 5 sets when you could do 10 sets? Why not do 15 sets then? more does not always equal better. Same with life. You know, you're putting so much output towards these things, but sometimes you need to really sit back and realize, hey, I'm going a little too much and I'm doing the same thing that really didn't get me any results in the first place, right? So change up your thing that you're doing a little bit and then execute it then, right? Because if you never sit back and realize what you're doing for a second, you're going to run into a brick wall. Same thing with training. If you're, like I said, the guy who's doing 25 plus reps and you're like, man, I'm not growing. I'm not growing in size. I'm not gaining strength. Well, look at your training, man. You know, it's the same guys who bulk, right? Like, you're not going to gain a whole bunch of muscle if you gain 50 plus pounds, right? Your hormones are going to be all out of whack. You're going to be fat. Your training is going to plateau. You're probably actually going to have lower energy because you're overweight now, right? Same thing with people who cut too much. You want to be super lean, but for one, if you're not happy with how your physique was, then maybe, you know, your carb intake wasn't enough, right? Or maybe if you're only 2 years in the gym and you're like, man, I still don't look good when I cut, you might just not have enough muscle, man, right? That's not to say that you're not going to look good, but if you cut to a point where, like I've seen these guys on Instagram and stuff, and they're like 140 pounds, 30 pounds, and they're like, yeah, I'm lean, but it's like, you're lean, but you erased actually some of your muscle mass to where you look good, right? So there's a certain balance with things, right? If you go too far, you're not going to get any results. But if you don't do enough, you know, you're not going to get any results either. So you have to find kind of the pretty balance between it, right? And that's kind of sometimes hard, but with life experience, with doing these things constantly, you'll finally start realizing what you grow from. Which for my circumstances, and this is why I preach it, is low volume, high intensity training. That's how I grow. And if I bulk, but I don't do it to the point where I'm gaining 2-3 pounds a week, if I just do it where I'm gaining 0.3 pounds a week, I'm still lean, I'm still gaining muscle mass, and I'm still making sure my hormones are all in check, right? And I'm not doing blood work or anything, but I can know from how I feel, I have high energy, right? Everything else is checking out. I think I'm doing fine. So, you know, with training, before you go into the gym, you need to check off some check marks too. Is your energy high? Is your focus good? You know, I think those two main things are the really good thing. And if, you know, they're not on par that day, like let's say one day it's really good, but then another day you're like, I'm not really feeling it. Don't leave the gym. Just train anyways. But the next time, learn from your mistakes and then go on. If you keep saying, oh, it's not perfect, you're not going to grow, right? And every time something isn't perfect, you just don't do it. That's a bad mentality, right? Because life, in a lot of circumstances, is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be how you want it to be. So, do things how you should, but if sometimes it doesn't go to how it plans, still do it, right? Now, there's certain aspects of that, right? If you're on 0 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep, don't go train, right? Be smart. But what I'm saying is, if you got 6-7 hours of sleep, you didn't get 8, but you still have energy, and you could just take a caffeine drink real quick, go train, right? Unless you have, like I said, like a rest day you can take in the week. As long as you know that you'll be able to get up tomorrow and train and get sleep tonight, take that rest day then. Like I said, with even your scheduling. My rest day's on a Sunday, but, you know, if I have something going on a Saturday, Friday, Thursday, whatever, I'll take a rest day then. But that's really all I have today. Nothing too much. But we're going to get cardio done. We've got about 8 more minutes, and then we'll be out of here. Bye-bye.